Throughout the history of the world, great teachers have inspired, persuaded, and motivated students. The goal of the St. Lucie Public School Teacher of the Year program is to recognize and celebrate the wealth of excellent teachers that exists across our district. All of us recall a certain teacher, a very special someone who inspired us to learn. All of us have sat in the classroom of many great teachers. Regardless of their fields of studies, they are all visionaries who led by example, shared wisdom, advocated for students, inspired others to join the profession, and whose action transformed lives. The St. Lucie Public School Teacher of the Year program began some 43 years ago and is meant to be one that celebrates and honors inspiring teachers and recognizes the importance of teaching. Every day, we, along with 100 million parents, entrust our children with teachers. They instruct, guide, coach, and inspire them to fulfill their greatest potential. This program presents some extraordinary men and women whose timeless wisdom echoes the integrity, strength, character, and passion of educators all across our district and our nation. This program is a tribute to and for teachers and celebrates the special and often heroic role they play in the lives of students. This program is, in our small way, an opportunity to say thank you to those who educate, encourage, empower, and inspire the students of our world. Our robust program is designed to bring national attention to the importance of excellence in teaching and celebrate the talents and commitment of these extraordinary teachers. Let's meet some of them now.
My name is Bobby Ingram Jr., the Director of Bands of Treasure Coast High School. Music is the universal language, so it contributes to St. Lucie Public Schools because that is some kids' only outlet. Music is a lot of these kids' family. I don't teach a class, I teach life. We learn community in this art. We learn love in this art. We learn the value of family in this art. We learn spirit, unity, discipline, attitude in this art. So that's why it's important. The kids come to school, they come from different environments, so when they come here, they need a place that's structured, a place that is energetic, a place where they can be themselves. So it's super important for me to show up to make sure that they have that atmosphere and they have that place where they can just genuinely be themselves. Sometimes the hardship of home bears the kids down, so it's just really just keeping them encouraged to keep going. My favorite part of the day, honestly, is seeing the kids. Seeing the kids and working with the kids and getting into a piece of music and mastering just a section of music and putting it all together. But even beyond all that is getting to know each and every individual that I'm able to work with. I am Bobby Ingram Jr., and I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
Welcome to week 3 of our Salute to the Teachers of the Year for all of our schools here in St. Lucie Public Schools. We have joining us at this time the awesome Mr. Raleigh Marchant, who is the Teacher of the Year for Lincoln Park Academy. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
He's brought along with him the very proud principal there, Dr. Michelle Harrington. Doc, welcome.
Thank you so much.
We are excited to have this opportunity to introduce to our viewers the wonderful teachers that we have here in the area. Let me get you to briefly introduce yourself so that they'll know a little bit more about you.
So my name is Raleigh Marchant. I am actually a graduate of Lincoln Park Academy. I graduated in 2018. I joined back on the team in 2019 as a long-term substitute. Following a long-term substitute, I entered into the role of an intensive reading teacher, and that's currently where I am now, and I'm happy to be back.
Okay. Doc, briefly introduce yourself.
Certainly, I too am a proud graduate of Lincoln Park Academy. I started my teaching career about 21 years ago and then became a principal, served as a principal at St. Lucie Elementary for 4 years, but I could not be happier to be home at Lincoln Park Academy and to be a Greyhound once again.
So let's get it out of the way right now. Go Greyhounds, okay? Okay, there we go. There we go. So let's just jump right in. What do you make of being selected as the Teacher of the Year, and how does it feel for Lincoln Park Academy?
Honestly, it's overwhelming being selected as Teacher of the Year at Lincoln Park Academy. We're a magnet school. We are a great school. We have many accomplishments, many achievements. We've been an A school for over 20 years. And for me to be selected as Teacher of the Year at my school that I graduated from as a student, it's just overwhelming for all of my colleagues to come together and decide he is the one to represent Lincoln Park for this current school year. It really does mean a lot.
So tell me, what's your favorite part of teaching?
My favorite part of teaching is seeing the light in a student's eyes anytime I get them to understand a challenging concept. Once I see their eyes light up and I know, hey, Mr. Marchant, you're doing an amazing job. I got this one to understand this concept and meet this standard, it blows my day.
So have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
Deep down inside, I did not always know I wanted to be a teacher. I entered the healthcare industry. Following COVID-19 and the pandemic, I left the healthcare industry to join education. And deep down inside, I'm a leader. I lead our students every single day. And after getting into that role of a long-term substitute and progressing my way through the ranks, I found a joy in it. I love what I do every single day. And it's honestly my passion, and I'm answering my calling.
So progressing through the ranks and finding the joy in it, let me piggyback there if I may. When did you fall in love with teaching?
I fell in love with teaching on my very first day with my very first class. That was the moment where my eyes lit up and I knew I have the power to change our students' lives starting on my very first day.
So Dr. Harrington, you have the opportunity to visit the class every day. I happen to pop by and say, I want to go to the classroom of your Teacher of the Year. What would I see?
So what you'd see is, interestingly enough, you'd see a lot of engaged students, which says a lot about Mr. Marchant because, as he mentioned, he's an intensive reading teacher. So a lot of times he's teaching students that come in feeling defeated already, maybe feeling like they haven't been successful. And what I've noticed is that Mr. Marchant has this innate ability to convince students that they're capable of more than they've been able to do up until that point. So he engages students, he makes them feel comfortable in his classroom, and he makes them feel confident and secure in their ability to read.
So Mr. Marchant, with everything that's going on, everything that we've endured over the past few years, what do you think is the biggest challenge facing education today?
One of the biggest challenges that I believe is facing education today would be teacher pay. I think that a lot of teachers are hesitant to stay in the field and in the industry, and I also think a lot of teachers are hesitant to join the industry based on the amount of pay that we receive, based on a lot of the legislative changes that there have been throughout the years, and based on the challenges that we face in the classroom.
So what do you say to your students, or what would you say to their parents, either or, to make sure that they're going to be successful in your class?
The number one thing I say to my students to make sure that they're successful is don't be afraid to reach out. If you need help, slip me a note on my desk, raise your hand. We have calling cues where if one of my students needs help and they don't feel confident in raising their hand, they know how to ask for help. It could be them tapping on their desk. Some of my students have their hand upside down, and that lets me know I need to go over and check on this student. Same thing for the parents. If you feel like your child needs anything, please reach out. Email, text, call, Skyward. I'm here for your child. I want your child to succeed. And the best way that I can help your child to succeed is if you reach out and you tell me what they need or what I can do to drive their education.
Dr. Harrington, 3 adjectives. Let's describe him.
So the first one would be committed. So I say all the time, the health of a school is in what teachers are willing to do outside of the classroom. So in addition to being an excellent teacher in the classroom, he's committed. He's committed to our school because he's an alum, and he's committed to the students that are in his classroom to their success. The second would be dedicated. He leads a lot of different initiatives at our campus, PBIS, National Junior Honor Society, our SWAT initiative for students working against tobacco, amongst a host of others. So he's dedicated. And the last that I would say is he's engaging. So it's interesting when I talk to students, they love being in Mr. Marchant's class, but also parents. I've talked to several parents recently who tell me that their children love being in his classroom.
So what do you think has been your greatest impact so far?
My greatest impact, honestly, would be being a part of my students' success stories. I love when my students are able to brag and say, hey, I know this because Mr. Marchant taught me this. Or, hey, I now have the confidence to go out and do this, this, and this because my teacher inspired me and told me never give up, and he honestly challenged me every single day to meet my goal.
So, Mr. Marchant, if I were to speak to your principal, your students, some of your parents, what would they tell me about you?
They would tell Dr. Harrington that I am a lovable person, I relate well to my students, and honestly, I'm very honest with them. I tell them exactly what they need to know so they can get to where they want to be. I sugarcoat, but I sugarcoat to an extent. I want my students to have honest feedback when they ask me these questions so they know if I want to get here, this is what I have to do, point blank.
Dr. Harrington, what makes Mr. Marchant the perfect choice for this honor?
Well, you know, this year, Lincoln Park Academy is celebrating its centennial. 100 years ago, Lincoln Park Academy was founded in Fort Pierce. And I think one of the things that makes Mr. Marchant such a great candidate is he is an alum. Having graduated from Lincoln Park Academy, having returned almost immediately to Lincoln Park Academy to teach, but most importantly, he exudes the excellence that is the legacy of Lincoln Park Academy.
Is there anything else that we haven't spoken about that you may want to share, Doc?
No one else can have Mr. Marchant. He was created for Lincoln Park Academy, and that's where he will stay. But no, Lincoln Park Academy is proud of everything that he does for our school every day, our students and our families.
So, Mr. Marchant, as the Teacher of the Year at Lincoln Park, you're automatically its ambassador. What's your message?
My message would be to be resilient. Don't ever give up. When times get hard, push through them, and then you need to take a step back and reflect. How did you get through those tough times? And use that to encourage you in the future. When times get hard again, remember, put on your hard hat. Be resilient for our students, our parents, your colleagues. And if you're resilient and you hold up and you follow through, you will get through it over and over again.
Thank you for this engaging conversation. Thank you both for joining us. Mr. Marchant, congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year at LPA. Go Greyhounds, and thank you both.
Thank you.
My name is Anna Babcock. I am a teacher at Fairlawn Elementary, teaching K-5 gifted and high achieving. And this is my 16th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I believe the most important aspect of my job is having the privilege to develop that next upcoming generation of students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Elementary is the foundation. Our students, sometimes this is their first experience in school. They are with us for several years compared to middle and high school. So it's the opportunity of planting that seed for the love of learning and just making them passionate about learning. I try to keep our students fully engaged, like giving them an environment that they take ownership in their learning. My favorite part of the day is when I get to teach math. I just get really excited about it. I love numbers. The most rewarding part of my job is observing my students when they have that moment of feeling successful. It's that moment where you can see it in their face. They light up, they're smiling ear to ear, and you just know in that moment they're feeling so good about themselves and proud of the accomplishment. I am Anna Babcock. I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
We're excited to welcome to our show at this time Ms. Julie Japal, the awesome Teacher of the Year over at Westwood Academy. Welcome.
Thank you for having me.
She's brought along with her my very dear friend, Mr. David Alfonso, the brand new, outstanding, proud principal there. Mr. Alfonso, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Perry. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, Ms. Japal, we love doing this show because it gives us a chance to introduce some of the dynamic teachers from St. Lucie Public Schools to all of our many viewers. With that said, briefly introduce yourself.
Well, I'm Julie Japal. I have a bachelor's in biological sciences from FAU. I've been a teacher for 5 years at Westwood in their pharmacy tech program. That started in 2018, and this is our 5th year with our 3rd graduating class.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. Mr. Alfonso, introduce yourself.
So my name is Dave Alfonso, the proud principal of Westwood, and I got to tell you, she is a phenomenal teacher, and I'm honored to be here today to introduce her to the community because, trust me, at Westwood, she's a legend.
Oh, legend.
Legend.
Okay, so let's jump right in. I'm excited to be able to talk to you. You're going to see that. But How does it feel to know that you have been selected by your peers as the Teacher of the Year to represent those dynamic teachers from Westwood?
It feels great because I've always been like just tunnel vision and focused on my own program, and just to know that my work has been seen, it feels good.
Awesome, awesome. Yeah. So, have you always known that you wanted to be an educator?
I always liked teaching, especially in pharmacy. I've been training technicians since I was 18. I'm 39 now, and the transition into becoming an official teacher has been rewarding and great. So it's not that big of a jump for me.
So what is it like to be in the pharmacy tech program at Westwood?
Oh, there's always exciting things that we're doing in the classroom. We're doing our role play on Fridays, we're going to clinicals, we're test prepping, we're learning about new drugs, we're putting them in real life situations with our case studies that we have our students like dissect and see how they could have approached that situation, because at the end of the day, the technician's job is to provide customer service and to assist the pharmacist. So we try and do something aligned with that every day in the classroom.
So to be selected as the Teacher of the Year at Westwood, I'm just going to say it, you got to be good. I was there. I was there. You have to be good. Amazing staff there. What do you think makes you a good teacher?
I think my first year in teaching, I tried to look at what other teachers were doing so that I could develop as a good teacher like them, who I thought was a good teacher. But at the end of the day, what I realized was that if I focus on the students and their needs and put that first, then everything falls into place. Each student is different, has different needs, so it's important for you to create a calm environment, a welcoming and safe space for them, and that's what I do for them so that they can advocate for themselves, because that's what all teachers want their students to do, to advocate for themselves, ask questions if they're confused about something. So I try my best to provide that environment where they can advocate for themselves and also build their confidence, because at the end of the day, our course is to gain certification. So if they don't have that confidence going in to test for that certification, then we have to work even harder.
So, Mr. Alfonso.
Yes.
I'm stopping by on campus tomorrow. I want to go see some of your dynamic teachers. Of course, we end up in Miss Japal's room. What am I going to see?
You know what you're going to see? You're going to see kids 100% engaged. And I mean that with all sincerity. You walk in there and they're all focused, listening to the maestro here, going and just making sure that everything is just set. And so that's what I like to see when I'm in her classroom. The other thing that I wanted to say and piggyback on something that she said that makes her a great teacher is that she has heart. She makes sure that she is awesome with content, but you know, it's one thing to be able to teach content, but you got to teach kids content, and she does that. And that's one of the things you'll see in her class.
So let me make you enhance just a little more, elaborate a little more, describe her with 3 adjectives and tell me why those 3.
Oh, that's easy. So the number 1 adjectives, hardworking. She does so much in our school. She helps us with our club day that we do. She is in charge of HOSA. It is just an incredible thing. So definitely that. The other thing is teamwork. She is always working with her team and working with her fellow teachers, which I think is phenomenal. And then my last adjective is awesome. She's just awesome. And I know that's such a big general type thing, but what I mean by awesome is that she makes sure that every single kid in her class is recognized and does their best.
Mr. Paul, tell me, what is it that you say to your students to make sure that they can be successful in your room?
What I normally tell them to do is that, because we all want our students to do better than what we did. Just like how, as a parent, I want my kids to do better than what I already did. So I always tell them, if I can do it, I know you can do it, because I'm giving you more tools than what I had. So there is no reason why you can't accomplish that. No reason. If you might not do it the same way as the student next to you, but I know that you'll be able to do it. And if you need help, I'm here. I'm always here.
As the Teacher of the Year, we kind of look at education holistically. What do you see as the most pressing issue for education today?
I would say the lack of empathy, maybe, because I think that sometimes we get overwhelmed with class size and we try to generalize our kids, but each kid has different situations at home, and sometimes just talking to them, just asking how they're doing, sometimes they don't have someone to say, hey, how you doing today? Like, what's going on? And I found that my first year of teaching, that's what really made students open up to me, is that even though they might not respond in that time, they knew that I was concerned. So eventually they would open up. And I think if all teachers took the time, we'd have a much better outcome.
Mr. Alfonso, what makes Ms. Japal the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Well, I think when you're the Teacher of the Year, you have to be someone that can motivate and inspire. And she motivates and inspires her teachers. She motivates and inspires her students every single day. One of the things we were talking about before we were coming here, she was sharing a story where when she really felt like, when did you kind of know that you made the right choice to be a teacher? And I was so impressed with what she said. It was really when she was talking about how she had a student that just basically told her, you made me be able to graduate. You made me the success that I am. And from what I'm hearing, this student is a success. And so that's why she is the Teacher of the Year, because she cares.
Let's have some fun. Talked a lot about the professional side, a little bit about the personal side. Favorite food?
Donuts.
Oh, Krispy Kreme?
No, Dixie Cream.
Dixie Cream.
No, okay.
Come on now, we're Westwood.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
Meeting Street.
Okay.
Tradition.
Really?
Yeah.
Favorite movie?
Old school.
I like that one too.
Favorite sports team?
It's a Premier League team. Manchester
Oh,
City.
yeah.
Soccer.
Favorite song?
Ooh. Favorite song? I'm gonna go with a Bob Marley song. Don't worry.
Be happy?
Yeah.
Okay. Sounds great to me. Favorite quote? Inspirational saying?
Inspirational saying. Gosh, that's a hard one. I'm gonna go with what I say. If I can do it, you can do it.
That works for me.
That works.
So we ask you to bring along a prop with you that kind of sums up who you are as an educator. Share with us your props.
Okay, so this is a lanyard that one of my former students bought for me a couple years ago. She is, it says best teacher ever. And even though I was like, oh, okay, but I was thankful for the gift. And now that I'm Teacher of the Year at Westwood, I was like, oh, look at that. She thought I was best Teacher of the Year, and it holds a special place in my heart because I'm still in contact with her. I send her care packages to college, so sorry, I'm getting emotional.
That's okay. That's what happens to us when we have a love for what we do.
Our Teacher of the Year.
That's why.
Absolutely.
Thank you both for joining us, and congratulations on your selection as Westwood's Teacher of the Year. Let's finish by saying, once a Panther,
Always a Panther.
Hello, my name is Edward Morales. I'm the manager for the Publications Department for the St. Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the print shop. One of the most important part of my job is to get things on time for the schools. Our objective is to get everything to the schools in less than 3 days. Well, some of the challenges we have here in the print shop is to get good pricing for raw paper, cover paper. The supply chain is a little bit difficult nowadays, but we're working on it. We have a great team. We have a team of 8, 9, including me. We have 3 printers, 3 binderies. We have a graphic designer. We have a team that is cohesive. They work together. They know what to do. They're professionals. They're proactive. They accept challenges, and they're determined to get the work to the schools. My favorite part of the day is coming in, say hello to the team, seeing that everybody is here with a happy face and ready to go. Yo soy Edward Morales y yo soy San Lucie Public School.
Please join us in welcoming to our show Ms. Mary Jane Kimball, who's the wonderful Teacher of the Year at Lakewood Park. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Thank you. She's brought along the dynamic assistant principal, Mrs. Monroe. Welcome.
Thank you so much.
It is a pleasure for us to have this opportunity to introduce you to many of our viewers because it gives us the chance to highlight the dynamic teachers that we have in St. Lucie Public Schools. Briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Well, my name's Mary Jane Kimball, and I was born and grew up in Maryland, Bethesda, Maryland. And when I graduated high school, I went to mainly East Carolina University for my bachelor's degree. Wanted to move to Florida because I thought it was all beaches, and so I ended up in the Tampa area and received my master's degree, met my husband. I said we need to live by the beach, and we both got jobs in Fort Pierce. So that was in '87. So I started teaching in '87 at Means Court, and then took off about 9 years with children, and then came back and been at Lakewood Park ever since.
Wow.
So back in like '98, my kids went there.
Cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Ms. Monroe, introduce yourself, please.
Yes, I'm Lauren Monroe. I was born and raised in Pennsylvania and went to school to Penn State University. And much like Ms. Kimball, actually, I wanted to be close to the beaches, so I came down here right after college. I've been in education for, this is my 16th year. I did some teaching at Allapattah as a 3rd and a 5th grade teacher. I was an instructional coach at both Allapattah and Sam Gaines, and then I got my first assistant principal job at Morningside Elementary. I stayed there for 2 years, and now I'm over at Lakewood Park. This is my 2nd year at Lakewood Park.
Oh, welcome.
Thank you.
So first of all, how does it feel to know that you have been selected by your peers as the Teacher of the Year to represent them at Lakewood Park?
A great honor.
Yes.
Just a great honor, and surprised. Just, I'm not that out type person.
Okay.
So I'm more, kind of do my thing in my classroom.
I do understand. I do understand. So when did you first fall in love with teaching?
Well, it was interesting because I thought about it, and I think, in 2nd grade. I used to go to my friend's house and we would play teacher. And then I just always loved playing teacher. And then in high school, my senior year, we were given an opportunity to kind of do some career exploring, and I worked in a elementary school in their special ed classroom. So special ed really just started, legally in 1972, and that was 1978. So I fell in love with it, and I used to do some volunteer work in order to meet guys. I went to an all-girls high school. The guys' high school did a camp for residents from the Institution for Mentally Handicapped in Washington, D.C., so I got to interact with those residents that were given up by their parents. So I guess for a long time.
What do you think makes you a good teacher?
I think out of the box. I am flexible, and I am a strong advocate for my students and parents.
What do you think has been your proudest professional accomplishment?
I believe that was when I was a clinical educator, and I've had 2 student teachers who ended up getting jobs in St. Lucie County and working with them.
Okay. Ms. Monroe, you're on campus every day and you get to witness the magic happen. I show up and you take me down to Ms. Kimball's room. What am I going to see?
You are just going to be blown away when you walk into her classroom. I know that I was last year when I started at Lakewood Park. She's been there a lot longer than I have, and a lot of the teachers and staff have been there for a long time, and it's just this family feel. And you walk in there and you see somebody that's just so devoted to her students. Ms. Kimball is working with our IND students, some who have just some really, really special needs in there. And she is just, like she said, an advocate for her kids. She's differentiating all the time. You see smiles, the kids jump up out of their seats and they just want to run over and hug you, and you'll see her engaged. She might be on the floor, she might be over here doing some hands-on learning, she might be on a beanbag. She's wherever the kids need her to be, and she's utilizing technology, again, hands-on, and it's just happiness when you walk in there. It's a place that I could sit in there all day. I've said this before. I know Mrs. Melrose, our principal, has said the same thing. It's a joy to be in her classroom.
So we're visiting, and I want to see the magic happen at Lakewood Park. And you said, I know the perfect place. We end up, of course, in Ms. Kimball's classroom.
Oh, of course.
Of course. What am I going to witness?
You're going to see students being their needs met at different levels. So you might see Ms. Kimball working with one student. She's also got some pairs in the classroom working with other students. So she's doing a lot of center work, a lot of hands-on, a lot of occupational therapy too with the kids that she's working with. You're going to see a little bit of everything. You're going to see reading, math. You're going to see some problem solving, some STEM activities. You're going to see a lot of technology with her smart boards and the tablets that the kids are using. She really just goes above and beyond. Assisted technology is in there as well, so you get a lot of everything in there. It's depending on the day and time. Always something different.
Give me 3 words that describe Ms. Kimball.
Okay, let's see. She's definitely passionate, and as you can tell, you know, majority of her life she's wanted to do this. This is important to her. This is her life. She throws herself into it. She's devoted. I know that she spoke about being an advocate for her students. In the short amount of time that I've been at Lakewood Park, I've seen her reach out to administration about things that she wanted for her kids that were important to her. She had a student in a wheelchair last year that she just really wanted a swing for that student so she could go out on the playground with the rest of her classmates and feel like a part of the family, and she fought for it, and we did. We had a ribbon cutting ceremony last year for her. It was just such a beautiful moment for all of us, you know, brought us all to tears. Special Olympics, another program that she organizes. So she's just, whatever meets the needs of her students, she's going to make sure that she gets it. She makes sure that her students are a part of the whole family, that they're not secluded from the rest of our gen ed population. And then I would say probably the last adjective would be inspiring, because you know, what she does day to day could be exhausting for some people, but just watching, she's setting an example for others of what it means to be a teacher and to really just love children.
So, Ms. Kimball, what do you see as one of the most pressing issues in education today?
Well, this is probably a word that might not be a good one, but technology. And for my kids, it is very useful. The smart board is great. But I think sometimes too much technology, that they, some of the kids get almost addicted to it. And especially my population, I have several students that are IND with some autistic type characteristics, and they just want that. And so it's a great asset to have in a classroom, but also we can't throw out all the hands-on type manipulatives. So that would be, I think there's a fine line with the use of technology and being a interactive classroom using true materials.
Let's have a little bit of fun.
Okay.
Let's play a game of favorites. I'll give a favorite, you give me the response. Favorite food?
Nachos.
Favorite restaurant?
Anywhere there's outdoor seating.
Favorite, really?
Yep.
Favorite movie?
The Shack.
Favorite sports team?
Well, it was the Washington Redskins and then the FSU Seminoles.
Gotcha, gotcha. Favorite song?
Little Drummer Boy, because that's what my dad used to always sing.
Oh, cool.
Yeah.
Connected to it. Favorite quote?
It's the Serenity Prayer.
Okay.
God grant me the serenity to accept the things I cannot change, the courage to change the things I can, and the wisdom to know the difference.
No difference, yes, yes. You brought along a prop that kind of describes you and your work. Share with us.
It's a puzzle. I love puzzles. And this puzzle is one with children, a lot of children in a soccer field. And for me, there's so many ways you could go to describe it, but in a classroom, I have this picture, and it's trying to fit all the kids in to be their best. And I have to fit the pieces together with what I'm teaching them, the subject matter, what method I use, and then there has to be a strategy to put the puzzle together. I just can't start with one piece and then try to put it all together. I have to do the perimeter first, the frame, and then I have to kind of put the colors together. And I just feel like that's what I'm doing almost daily in my classroom.
Pieces of the puzzle
unique, yeah.
come together, form a perfect picture. Yes.
But sometimes you're missing a piece. And that sometimes happens in the classroom. It's not going to be a perfect picture.
Cool. Cool. Ms. Monroe, is there anything else you want to share with us about the wonderful Ms. Kimball?
I'm just going to say this came as no surprise to me. She is very well loved by our staff, students, and families. She fits into the culture and the vision of Lakewood Park, and we're so happy to have her there with us this year.
So, Ms. Kimball, final question for you. You're automatically the spokesperson for Lakewood Park as their Teacher of the Year. What's your message?
To
anyone that you may meet, parents.
Okay. My message would be that education is very important, and it's important for parents to be involved. And I don't want parents to ever feel that they don't have a voice and that they are an important asset, and that the children are just cherished gifts. And I believe at Lakewood Park we treat those children as such. And yeah, I think that's it.
Cherished gifts. Awesome. What a wonderful way to end. Thank you both for joining us, and congratulations on your selection.
Thank you so much.
My name is Michael Brown, and welcome to St. Lucie Transportation. We have 325 routes that make up 12,471 bus stops per day. On average, we transport 23,000 students each and every day. We have 25 mechanics responsible for 397 buses in our fleet, and they go in for a 30-point state-required inspection every 28 days. I feel that as a bus driver, my position is a very intricate one in the St. Lucie school system. Without us transporting the majority of the school's populations, our leaders of tomorrow wouldn't have an easy access to their education. I would say the most important aspect of my job is delivering my children to and from school in a safe, timely manner. I want to be a role model for my kids as well. Some of the challenges of my position, being able to drive while maintaining control of my students. I often have upward to 50 to 60 kids, at any given time between routes. I think the most rewarding part is just watching my children grow, into adults. I watch them flourish in life, and just knowing that I was a part of it. I'm Michael Brown, and I am St. Lucie Public School.
I am pleased to welcome to our show at this time Ms. Osella Davis, who's the wonderful Teacher of the Year at Southport Middle School. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, Mr. Perry.
It's a pleasure having both of you. She's brought along my very dear friend, Susan Seal, the proud principal there. Ms. Seal, welcome.
Thank you, Dr. Perry.
I get excited every time we have an opportunity to talk to Teachers of the Year. One, not just because I was Teacher of the Year, but because it gives us an opportunity to introduce to our viewers some of the dynamic teachers that we have serving students and families every day. Ms. Davis, I know you've been in the system for a minute, but just in case someone doesn't know you, briefly introduce yourself to them for me.
Yes, my name is Osella Davis, and I'm a product of Martin County. I went to Martin County High School, and after high school graduation, I went to Florida State University, where I earned my Master's of Science degree in elementary education, and I have a master's degree in ed leadership, as I believe what we called it way back in the day, from Nova. They're calling it Nova Southwestern now, but it was just Nova University at the time.
Okay, so you graduated from Martin County, how about you came home? We understand, we understand. Ms. Seal, please introduce yourself to our viewers.
Thank you. Susan Seal is my name, and this is my 30th year in education in St. Lucie County.
Awesome. So, Ms. Davis, what do you think makes you a good teacher?
I'm a good teacher. In fact, I think I'm a great teacher because of my preparations, and I'm a lifelong learner. I never stop. In fact, I have some friends that go, why do you go to workshops all the time? You know all of this. I said, no, because everything is evolving. So we have to be there for, there may be something different that I didn't pick up the first time I went to a workshop, and because of my passion for education and for my students.
Because of your passion for education and students, and because you majored in education, that tells me you knew you wanted to be a teacher. Is there someone that influenced you along the way? Yes.
When I was in elementary school, I wanted to be like some of my friends and goof off, but I had a teacher that would not allow me to. So I'm assuming she saw something in me that others didn't see, in fact, that I didn't see myself.
So tell me this. Along the way, we can have some challenges, especially the first year teaching. When did you first fall in love with teaching?
When I realized that I was able to take a concept to a student and the kid got it. They really got it. I said, oh, okay, I can do this.
Okay. It made you proud.
Yes.
So tell me, you've seen a lot during your time as an educator. Trends come and go. What do you think may be one of the most pressing issues in education today?
Right now, I believe the most pressing event in education is technology. Technology is a tool. It's a great tool, and it also has its challenges as well. It's a great tool because things are changing, everything is evolving. This is the way we're going into the technology age. But as an educator in a classroom, I have to try to get my students to stay focused, because when you put that computer in front of them, you know, they want to go other places than where they have to be. But it's also a great thing too, because it brings the students to places where they wouldn't be able to go themselves. And it also helps us as another area to bring the material to the students to get them to understand things, because sometimes, you know, the first voice you hear is the one that makes it stick.
So, Mrs. Seal, I pop by campus tomorrow, and we start walking and talking and visiting classrooms, and by your perfect design, we end up in Mrs. Davis' class. What would I witness?
So the neat thing about Mrs. Davis's class is it doesn't matter whether you go in there on day 1, day 90, day 180, you're going to see the same thing. She is extremely consistent with what she does, and our students respond very well to it. She has her expectations for what the students are going to do. You see students that are engaged, students that are questioning. She also is really great at preparing students for high school, not only with the content that she teaches, but also with reminding them of opportunities that they're going to have. So day 1 to day 180, she is on every minute that she's in the classroom.
Share with us 3 adjectives that would describe the wonderful Mrs. Davis.
Problem solver. She is our co-chair for our faculty council. So she's very valuable to both me and the faculty in that position. She also is a team leader and math department chair. So those 3 things let you know that she's highly respected on our campus and really involved in a lot of problems that may exist. She's great with coming up with solutions for them. Also, as I mentioned a moment ago, consistency. She's very consistent in what she does. And right now with a lot of our students, they need that. They crave that. A lot of them don't realize that they need that structure and consistency. But when they experience it, then we start to see the student growth and the change in student behavior. And the last one I would say is that she is caring. And to look at a teacher who has been in the classroom and been at our school for 30 years and still is passionate about what she's doing, there's no way she could be without being caring.
Awesome, awesome. So, Ms. Davis, I stopped by, we're walking and we visit your class, and I lean over to one of your students and say, tell me, what you think about Ms. Davis? What would they tell me?
Oh, I like Ms. Davis. I like Ms. Davis. She helps me a lot.
That's good. Positive statements, positive statements. As we continue to move forward every day, we know that your job is changes. What changes have you seen with students during your time as an educator?
There's been lots of changes going on in education through the years. Ms. Seal talked about a number earlier. I go, ooh, okay.
Yeah, she did kind of throw it out there.
A number out there.
I'm not going to remind her that she said 30. Oh, I'm sorry.
But we're we'll just say it was, 32, I guess the school is?
Okay.
32 years old.
Okay.
I've been there since it opened.
Wow. Wow.
And that was
Awesome.
my second stop in the county.
Cool. So, what do you see as one of your proudest accomplishments as a teacher?
One of my proudest accomplishments as a teacher is when former students comes back, like one you know very well, because he does the same thing that you did at one point. He goes, "Miss Davis, you still here?" I said, "Yes." He said, "When are you going to retire?" I say, "Who sent you to me? Who sent you here?" He goes, "Nobody. I don't care. You can stay until my kids come if you want to. You can have my kids." But we have students who do come back and they thank you. Sometimes when they're in your classroom, they really don't see why you're pushing them so until they actually leave, and then they're able to come back to say thank you. Thank you. I learned a lot in your class. You helped me.
Awesome. Ms. Hill, what makes Ms. Davis the perfect candidate for this honor?
I think that her experience and the fact that she has seen a lot of trends come and go in the past several years, and the fact, as I mentioned earlier, that she's still passionate about what she does, passionate and involved. As I mentioned earlier, all the things she does, she also tutors. In addition to those, you cannot be an educator that is passionate about what they do and not see that she's a great example of this, because all that she pours into our school and our students on a daily basis.
Let's have some fun, Ms. Davis. We talked a lot about the professional. We're going to take a deeper look into the personal side of Ms. Davis. We're going to play a game of favorites. I'll throw out some favorites.
Okay.
You give me a quick response.
Okay.
Favorite food?
Seafood.
Favorite restaurant?
Red Lobster.
Favorite movie?
Favorite movie is Hidden. I'm going to say it, Hidden Images.
Okay.
Hidden Figures, rather. Hidden Figures.
Favorite sports team?
Florida State University, the Seminoles.
Not the Seminoles.
The Seminoles.
Okay, we'll let you have that. You support your team, that's right.
Yes, I
Favorite
do.
song?
My favorite song, I really don't have a favorite song, but my favorite type of music is gospel.
Okay, all right. Favorite quote or motivational saying?
I never fail.
Okay, you brought along a prop with you that kind of sums up who the wonderful educator Ms. Davis is. Share with us your prop.
Okay, my prop is a response board, and it's an individual board that I can walk around to my students with, and I can sit at their seat or lean over them, and I can write on my board. And I love this particular one because on the back of it, it has the grid for when we have to do graphing, and so I can just get right with the students at the time and be able to give positive feedback right away.
From whole group instruction to individual instruction, checking to make sure they're getting it right.
Oh, yes.
Yes, yes. Thank you both for joining us. It's been a pleasure speaking with you. And Ms. Davis, congratulations on your selection as
Thank you
Teacher
so
of the
much,
Year.
and thank you for having me.
Yes, ma'am.
My name is Bobby Ingram Jr., the Director of Bands of Treasure Coast High School. Music is the universal language, so it contributes to St. Lucie Public Schools because that is some kids' only outlet. Music is a lot of these kids' family. I don't teach a class, I teach life. We learn community in this art. We learn love in this art. We learn the value of family in this art. We learn spirit, unity, discipline, attitude in this art. So that's why it's important. The kids come to school, they come from different environments, so when they come here, they need a place that's structured, a place that is energetic, a place where they can be themselves. So it's super important for me to show up to make sure that they have that atmosphere and they have that place where they can just genuinely be themselves. Sometimes the hardship of home bears the kids down, so it's just really just keeping them encouraged to keep going. My favorite part of the day, honestly, is seeing the kids. Seeing the kids and working with the kids and getting into a piece of music and mastering just a section of music and putting it all together. But even beyond all that is getting to know each and every individual that I'm able to work with. I am Bobby Ingram Jr., and I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
Please join me in welcoming to our Teacher of the Year Spotlight Show, the wonderful Janice Alexo, the Teacher of the Year over at Floresta Elementary. Welcome to the show.
Hi, thank you.
She's brought along with her the dynamic principal there, Miss Tracy Wilkie. Welcome.
Thank you. Thank you.
We are so excited to have this opportunity to share with you, but just like you're sharing with me now, we use this show to introduce our viewers to some of the fantastic teachers that represent the best of the best. So briefly introduce yourself to our viewers, please.
My name is Janice Alexo. I actually am a St. Lucie County student.
Yay!
I graduated from Port St. Lucie High School. I went to IRSC. I got my bachelor's and my master's at Florida State University, and I have been in the district now for 10 years. I taught 3rd grade, 4th grade, and now I am an interventionist at Floresta.
Awesome. Ms. Wilkie?
Yeah.
Introduce yourself, please.
Thank you. Tracy Wilkie, the very proud principal of Floresta Elementary School. This is my 34th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I do have a couple of years up in New York before that, before we moved here. But I started as a special education teacher and just kept on going and went into leadership, and 15 years as a school principal.
Wow. So let's jump right in. How does it feel? What is it like being the representative of Floresta Elementary?
I'm very honored. I feel like I come in every day and I do my best work, and I feel very proud and appreciative that my colleagues, they see my work as well.
Why did you choose to be a teacher?
I always liked children. When I was in my teens and in my 20s, I actually managed a store, and I noticed that my favorite part of managing the store was helping the adults and even the teenagers grow in the company. When I felt for a change, I thought working with children is exactly what I needed, and I've loved it ever since.
Cool. So what's the favorite part of the day?
Really seeing, since as an interventionist, I get to work with different age groups, and I get to change my style of teaching to really fit what each student needs. So being able to watch my students engaged, and even if it's for a brief session, seeing them really understand the concept that they thought that they didn't know how, really brightens my day.
Watching them engage and changing as you need, do you think there's someone along the way, as you were a student, that influenced your style or how you interact or how you deliver lessons?
I've been very grateful for all of my administrators that I've had throughout the years. They allowed me not to just teach, but they wanted me to be creative and do what I needed for the students, and that's very important to me. So I was able to put all my strategies in my little pocket of gifts.
Thinking back over the years that you've been teaching, the positions that you've held, when did you first fall in love with teaching?
I would say it would have to be my first few years of teaching. I did teach in a school that had a majority of the students had no home support. There was definitely a financial restriction, and just watching them come to life in my classroom when they didn't have any of that love at home really made this job permanent for me.
So, Ms. Wilkie, you're there every day. I walk in and I say, hey, can I visit your Teacher of the Year's class? And you take me down. What would I see?
Okay. You are going to see kids happy, see kids engaged in their work, enthusiastic and motivated to learn, and Miss Alexo providing just positive feedback and the kids are really just responding to that and learning, and they just feel happy, they feel safe, they feel loved. Yeah.
So, Miss Alexo, if I were to talk to Miss Wilkie or your students, maybe your parents, what would they tell me about the wonderful Miss Alexo?
I would say that my parents would say that I'm very good at building relationships, not just with them, but also my students. That my students are, they really do make an effort, and that I push that growth mindset for all students, and that I just want them to be better each day, not so much reaching always proficiency. As long as they're doing better every day, then we are all happy.
So, Ms. Wilkie, 3 adjectives. Let's describe her.
I think you've already noticed one, which would be passionate. She's definitely passionate about her students and their abilities to learn. I'm passionate about education as a whole. professional. She just exudes professionalism, from her attire to her posture to her communication skills, her interactions with colleagues and families. And the other is, she's our data queen. She is the Excel expert, and really helps us in that aspect.
I need your help. I need your help. What advice would you give to parents to help them ensure the success of their children while they're in your class?
I would definitely say first, communicate. Their teacher is their best tool. So reaching out to the teacher and asking what's going on in the classroom, what does their child need support with, any material that they could be doing at home. That's definitely a great step to ensuring that the student has a bright future.
With everything that we've been doing over the past few years as educators, what do you see as one of the most pressing issues for education?
Right now, I really find that student motivation and students' love for education is at a low. I feel like that's where my passion comes from, as Ms. Wilkie was saying. I want my students to come and love to learn again. I don't want them to always feel so stressed that it's a test or they have to do great on an assignment. It's not just for a data piece. I want them to really love what they're learning and that they understand it. And I feel like all educators feel the same way.
So, Ms. Wilkie, what makes Ms. Alexo the perfect choice for this honor?
Well, you heard Ms. Alexo talk about her colleagues, and her colleagues really recognized, and that's why she's here today, because they nominated her for this. And that is because of her whole school-wide impact that she's having. We've only talked about what she does in her classroom, but the scope of who she's reaching beyond that. She's really become a leader at our school. She's on our faculty council. She's a part of the parent-family engagement. She's spearheaded our family conferences. Currently, right now, she is organizing, coordinating, losing sleep over our tutoring program, but doing a phenomenal job about organizing it and using her orientation towards details to pull this off. And you're talking about 150 students staying after school and receiving tutoring. So the impact, she understands the school-wide operations. She understands and contributes to the overall climate and culture of our school. She's just loved by everybody. And she's
Awesome, awesome. Ms. Alexo, what is your proudest professional achievements to date?
This is definitely one of them. I was so speechless when I won. I was very thankful. And I also I've always taught in a 3 to 5 grade band. So when FSA was around, I did receive a high impact award from the state of Florida, where I'm pretty sure almost all my students reached proficiency on the FSA at the time.
Share with us your interests outside of teaching.
I travel a lot. That is definitely something that means a lot to me. And I do shop, as Ms. I definitely like clothing and design, and they bring me joy along with my family.
So let's play a game of favorites. Favorite city you visited?
Paris.
Oh, at night?
Yes.
Beautiful.
Midnight, Eiffel Tower, I was there,
okay.
of course.
Okay. Favorite food?
Sushi.
Favorite restaurant?
Benihana's.
Favorite sports team?
Yankees.
Okay. Baseball. Favorite song?
I don't have a favorite song, but I do like pop, country. That's usually my style.
Do you have a favorite quote?
I do. No one is you, and that is your power.
Ms. Wilkie, is there anything that we haven't spoken about that you want to share about your awesome Janice Alexo, your Teacher of the Year?
Overall, Janice is just a lovely person. Really, she seeks out the people and wants to help them. Just wants to bring out the best in her students. Just an overall very well-liked, loved person. themselves.
One more question, Ms. Alexo. By your selection, you have automatically become the spokesperson for Florissa. Have an opportunity to speak with parents, community members, the superintendent, the school board members. What's your message?
I would say with family support and a strong school foundation, our students will be successful.
Thank you, thank you. Ms. Wilkie, Ms. Alexo, thank you for joining us as we celebrate the best of the best here, as we highlight our Teachers of the Year, and congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year for Florissa.
Thank you so much.
My name is Anna Babcock. I am a teacher at Fairlawn Elementary, teaching K-5 gifted and high achieving, and this is my 16th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I believe the most important aspect of my job is having the privilege to develop that next upcoming generation of students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Elementary is the foundation. Our students, sometimes this is their first experience in school. They are with us for several years compared to middle and high school. So it's the opportunity of planting that seed for the love of learning and just making them passionate about learning. I try to keep our students fully engaged, like giving them an environment that they take ownership in their learning. My favorite part of the day is when I get to teach math. I just get really excited about it. I love numbers. The most rewarding part of my job is observing my students when they have that moment of feeling successful. It's that moment where you can see it in their face. They light up, they're smiling ear to ear, and you just know in that moment they're feeling so good about themselves and proud of the accomplishment. I am Anna Babcock. I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
It's a pleasure for us to welcome to our show at this time Chantel Siders, the awesome Teacher of the Year over at St. Lucie Elementary School. Welcome.
Thank you.
We're so excited to have you. She's brought along our awesome friend, Miss Kathy Potenza, who's the dynamic principal there. Welcome to our show.
Hi, Dr. Perry. Nice to see you.
We love sharing the show because we know that we have the best of the best in St. Lucie, and you just represent them. But it gives us an opportunity to introduce some of our teachers to our viewers. So would you please introduce yourself briefly?
Yes, my name is Chantel Siders. This is my 16th year in St. Lucie County, and I'm currently ELA coach at St. Lucie Elementary.
All right. Ms. Potenza, same thing?
My name is Kathy Potenza. This is my 8th year in St. Lucie County, and I'm the proud principal of St. Lucie Elementary.
Awesome. So let's jump right in.
Okay.
How does it feel to be selected to represent St. Lucie Elementary as the Teacher of the Year?
It feels amazing. I mean, actually, this is like a unique experience for me because not only am I nominated, but my first mentee, she's also nominated.
Oh,
so
wow.
I'm just happy to have the opportunity to share the stage with her.
So let's talk about that. Your first mentee, that means
Yes.
you give advice and assist them. What advice do you share with new teachers?
You know, I just share with them, being a teacher, it takes a lot of work. However, if you're able to build that relationship with your students and with their families, you can have success. There's a lot to learn. You know, you don't know what you don't know. Don't be afraid to ask questions. Don't be afraid to reach out. And as long as you're showing up every day and you're committed, you'll be successful.
Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
No, absolutely not.
What did you want to do?
Well, prior to teaching, teaching is my second career. So prior to teaching, I worked for Marriott International. I was a director of sales. And then I left that and was at home for a bit. And then I got into teaching. So if I had to do it all over again, I would definitely do teaching because I feel like it was a calling. And I do feel like this is where I'm supposed to be.
Knowing that this is the calling and you're where you're supposed to be, tell me when you first fell in love with teaching.
I would say it was about my second year teaching. My first year, I did have an amazing mentor that supported me, and if it wasn't for her, I would not have made it through my first year. But I think it was my second year of teaching, definitely, because I had a young student in my classroom that really needed not only a teacher, but he needed like a caring adult. He had some medical issues. I'm still in contact with them as of today, and just being able to be there for him. And you know, his mom told me, I don't know how he would have made it in kindergarten without you. And I think it was that at that moment, I was like, if I could make that difference in someone's life, that truly was like the best feeling.
So, Ms. Potenza, tell me this. I'm on your campus and I want to visit and watch your Teacher of the Year work. What am I going to see?
You are going to see her giving 210% every single day to not only the children at St. Lucie Elementary as an instructional coach, but to the adults. We know in today's world, we're plagued with a teacher shortage, and she ensures that the support that she provides for our teachers on a daily basis is to help build their capacity and their confidence so that they remain in the profession. She's in classrooms all the time. She's facilitating collaborative plannings to ensure teachers have the tools to be successful. And she works with students. Just last year, she recognized that there was an extreme deficit with some of our third grade students and took it upon herself to take time before school even started, you know, when kids arrive on campus at 8 o'clock, to meet with a distinct group of students just to provide them with additional supports. And that was not something that she was asked to do or told to do. It's just who Chantel is, right? She just takes the bull by the horns. She sees a problem and is solution oriented.
So, Ms. Idas, what do you think is possibly the greatest challenge facing education today?
I think the greatest challenge is lack of teachers. I mean, we need to build our teacher capacity. Teachers are not knocking at our door. We don't have individuals knocking down the door wanting to be a teacher. So I think that, you know, all students should be afforded a high quality education. So the greatest challenge is really retaining teachers.
Ms. Potenza, 3 adjectives. Let's describe her.
3 adjectives. I'm going to say Chantel is a servant. She's a servant leader, true epitome of a servant leader. She's a relationship builder because in her role as a coach, that really is key. And I would say the last is she's a change agent. I would say servant, she gives of herself and expects the best of her teachers, but gives so willingly of herself to others. From the most menial, or what people would consider menial tasks, to the most extreme. Relationship, she prides herself. I mean, the teachers go to her for advice long before they'd even come to, you know, one of the administrators in the building. Instructional advice, calling her all hours of the day. She's always available to them. And then I would say change agent. She's data driven. Everything's around data. It's around student success, and really just equalizing the playing field for our students. St. Lucie Elementary is a green zone school, and our kids come with some unique challenges, but she never lets anyone make excuses for our kids. She understands that they need a high quality education just like every other student in St. Lucie County.
So, Ms. Siders, if I were to speak to that mentee of yours, or maybe any of your other colleagues or parents, what would I hear them saying about you?
You would hear them say that I will never ask anything of them that I'm not willing to do. I'm more than willing to model for them. I'm there. You know, I tell them they can call on me 24/7. And I know, you know, once I leave school, it's not like, oh, I've left and, you know, you can't get in contact with me. We text each other. I don't mind. They would hear me say I'm very supportive. I'm goal-oriented. I'm very organized. I expect the same from them as well. You know, just that I'm focused and I'm driven. And when I have that conversation and when I meet with them, we're growing and learning together. Because yes, this is my 16th year, but there's still so much more learning and growing that I have to do as an educator, and we take that journey on together.
So, Ms. Potenza, what makes Ms. Siders the perfect choice for this honor?
Well, first she was selected by her peers, and when she was selected, I think she was a little shocked. She was definitely surprised. But it really speaks to the work that she does. She rolls her sleeves up and gets her hands dirty alongside of her teachers. And I think when I tell you that the majority of the votes this year at St. Lucie Elementary went to Ms. Siders, that really speaks volumes. That her colleagues thought so highly of her and the work that she does. Like she said, they know that there's no task too big or too small for her. and they just respect the work that she does. They go to her for guidance on pedagogy, on structural practices, as well as just sometimes even just personal. You know, they're struggling with behavior in a classroom. How can I better support this student? And Chantel's just a wealth of knowledge for them.
So let's have some fun.
Okay.
Play a game of favorites. What's your
Okay.
favorite food?
Conch.
Oh, island. I heard the island. Favorite restaurant?
Season 52.
Favorite movie?
The Best Man.
Really? Holiday edition or the original?
The original.
The original, okay.
Yes.
Yeah, favorite sports team?
Dallas Cowboys. Because of my husband.
Okay, all right. America's
So I
team.
have to
Okay,
say it.
I guess they could be, I guess that's okay, okay. Favorite song?
My favorite song is I Feel Good.
Favorite quote?
My favorite quote, motivational quote for me is, if it's important to you, you'll find a way. If it's not, you'll make an excuse.
Tell us about your prop.
Okay, so I was thinking long and hard about what to bring. And I thought to myself, what is part of my everyday? If I left this somewhere, I would be lost. And it's my binder. And inside my binder, I have what I need for CLP. I have what I need to hold myself accountable so that I'm giving 100% to my teachers and to the faculty and staff at St. Lucie Elementary. So in here, whatever, it's like my teacher Bible. I have resources in here. Whatever I'm planning for the unit, it's the go-to. So technology goes down, I can still plan, I can still do my job because I have my binder in here. It's everything I have for the unit. It's my unit assessments for backwards designs. It just helps to keep me focused and it helps to keep me on task.
Well, being an avid school, it's great that you have a binder because kids have binders.
Absolutely.
So you're
Right,
modeling
exactly.
the perfect behavior. Ms. Patenza, is there anything else that you want to add?
I just, you know, Dr. Perry, without sounding a little cocky, I just think Chantel Siders is the teacher of the year for St. Lucie County. She really brings, she's a total package.
Cool.
She just really is.
Cool. So, final question. Your position as Teacher of the Year automatically makes you the ambassador for education at St. Lucie L. What's your message?
Invest in teachers, because an investment in teachers is an investment in our students.
Awesome. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you for sharing this time with us, and congratulations on your selection
Thank
as
you
Teacher
very
of the
much.
Year.
Thank you, Dr. Perry.
My name is Michael Brown, and welcome to St. Lucie Transportation. We have 325 routes that make up 12,471 bus stops per day. On average, we transport 23,000 students each and every day. We have 25 mechanics responsible for 397 buses in our fleet, and they go in for a 30-point state-required inspection every 28 days. I feel that as a bus driver, my position is a very intricate one in the St. Lucie school system. Without us transporting the majority of the school's populations, our leaders of tomorrow wouldn't have an easy access to their education. I would say the most important aspect of my job is delivering my children to and from school in a safe, timely manner. I want to be a role model for my kids as well. Some of the challenges of my position, being able to drive while maintaining control of my students. I often have upward to 50 to 60 kids, you know, at any given time between routes. I think the most rewarding part is just watching my children grow, you know, into adults. I watch them flourish in life and just knowing that I was a part of it. I'm Michael Brown, and I am St. Lucie Public School.
It's a pleasure for us to welcome to our show at this time the wonderful Miss Lindsay Lorino. How are you doing?
I'm doing wonderful, thank you.
Oh, welcome to the show. She's brought along the fantastic, proud principal of St. Lucie West K-8, Mr. Joseph Lazo. Welcome to the show.
Welcome. Thank you for having us, Dr. Perry.
Thank you. It is a pleasure for us to have this chance to introduce you to our viewers because you're representing some fantastic teachers over at St. Lucie West K-8. So briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
Absolutely. I'm a Florida native. I grew up in St. Lucie County. I went to school at Southern Oaks Middle School. I graduated from Fort Pierce Central High School. I went out of state for college. I went to Auburn University. got my bachelor's degree at Auburn, continued on with my master's degree at Florida Atlantic University in science education. In between my bachelor's and my master's degree, I actually completed 2 years of shorebird research with the State University of New York, and we worked with endangered species along the Florida Panhandle.
War Eagle.
War Eagle.
Yeah. Mr. Lazo, please introduce yourself.
Hi, I'm Joseph Lazo. This is year number 22 for me in St. Lucie Public Schools. Also a proud product of St. Lucie Public Schools, class of 96 for St. Lucie High School. I'm a graduate of Florida Atlantic University with my master's degree from ACE University. It's an opportunity for me to be here to speak about Ms. Loreno today. I'm happy to be here.
Awesome. So, Ms. Loreno, let's just jump right in. How does it feel to know that you have been selected as a representative for all those fabulous teachers over at St. Lucie West as their Teacher of the Year?
It's beyond flattering. I was very surprised that I was elected by my fellow peers. I've been at my same school for 10 years, putting in a lot of effort and work to build St. Lucie West K-8 what it is today, to build the programs up that I've helped develop over the years, and it's a great honor.
So have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
Actually, once I finished my bachelor's degree, so my bachelor's degree was in science, and then when I went to do my field research with the State University of New York, I realized that the outreach component was something that I really enjoyed when I was working on the shores of the Panhandle. And when I finished my program with the State University of New York, I realized that I really enjoyed connecting to the public and connecting to the community about science. And so I actually elected to receive my master's degree in science education, and I completed the advanced induction into teaching with Florida Atlantic University, and that's where I started my career at St. Lucie West K-8. So when I was finished in between my undergraduate and graduate degree, that's how I knew that teaching was the career for me.
So what do you regard as your best accomplishment?
Professionally?
Professionally?
I would say my greatest accomplishment professionally is my ability to connect with my students. I've really enjoyed the last 10 years having the ability to connect with my students. Obviously, professionally, I am proud of my accolades and my degrees that I've received, but I'm really proud of what I've built with my students. I'm very proud of the program that I have helped develop at my school, St. Lucie West K-8. We started a Project Lead the Way Medical Detectives at my school. It was only a 9-week program, but I've expanded the curriculum to include an entire year's worth of curriculum, and that's a proud professional achievement that I have. I have a lot of student input in the development of the curriculum, because when it first started, it really was only a 9-week program. But over the course of the years with my students, I started in 2017, they've helped provide input to how we can build the curriculum to the fantastic model that it is today.
Cool. So, 10 years at St. Lucie West K-8.
Yes.
In the time that you have been teaching, knowing that what we've had to deal with in the past few years, what do you see as one of the major issues confronting education today?
I think the biggest issue confronting education today is that we are having problems with high quality teacher retention. I think the teacher is the greatest determining factor in the classroom. I think maintaining high quality teachers in the classroom should be our #1 goal as not only a county but a state. Teachers have the greatest impact on students, and I think that with high quality teacher retention, high quality teacher training, making sure that we mentor our new teachers coming into the field, giving them the opportunity to feel welcomed and supported would help face and help these challenges that we're experiencing in education, especially after COVID, because of the high amounts of teacher turnover that we experienced.
Mr. Lazo, share with me what a day is like in Ms. Loreno's class.
Well, I believe Ms. Loreno already kind of started it out with the program development of Project Lead the Way, that medical detective course that now is stemmed from last year when I took over St. Lucie West from 1 course now to offering 2 courses for our students in that high-level, advanced-level course. Students are expected to explore hands-on science. It's, I would say it resembles a college-level lab course that students are experimenting and having deliberate and intentional conversations about the work that they're experiencing, dissecting animal brains, hearts, lungs, eyes. Students are engaged and enthralled by the quality of instruction that Ms. Lorino is providing her students each and every day. And it's a sight for everyone to come and see. It's a model class that I would love to share with just not St. Lucie West Cape, but for all of St. Lucie Public Schools.
So while you're sharing about Ms. Lorino, give us 3 adjectives that you would say best describe her.
Innovative will be the first one that comes to my mind. What she does in the classrooms, the projects that she builds with her kids is there. I would say loving. The connection that she has with her kids, it's to die for. Her kids will beat me to the door to go see Miss Lorino before I can get in, so they can get in first before I can. And I'll actually have a competition with a couple of her kids who can get in the classroom first to speak to Miss Lorino and gather her attention. And the last adjective I would have to say is that she's a phenomenal teacher. Absolutely phenomenal teacher. When we're talking about that high quality instructor, a person that we want to have in front of our kids each and every day, providing that quality of instruction and ensuring that their child receives the best and gives 110% each and every day, that's Ms. Lorino. I came up with the theme this school year of one more, that 212th degree, that 1 degree more makes the difference. Ms. Lorino does that each and every day. She is that 1 degree. She is that 1 degree that changed standing water to boiling water. And she does it well.
Gotta boil, yes. So, Ms. Lorino, with your background, what would you say, what advice would you give to new teachers?
The advice that I would give to new teachers is to ensure that they're developing high quality relationships with their students. Rules without relationships are rebellion in the making, and not having those relationships developed with your students is really going to result in a more arduous process when it comes to managing your classroom. And you really can't have fun in the classroom without appropriate classroom management. It can't always be all fun and games. It needs to have the proper structure and management. But by developing relationships with your students, making your students want to exceed for you, want to excel for you, it all starts to come naturally by developing those relationships with your students.
Mr. Lazo, what makes Ms. Lorino the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
I believe she began to explain it out. It's her love for her students. It's the relationships that she builds with her students each and every day. As I said, the students are fighting to get into her classroom. One student was upset that they could not have her class this school year, and that begins to speak volume, that she's built a reputation on our campus as the go-to teacher when it comes to science instruction. But I think it's just beyond that science instruction. It's all the other things the other intangibles that Mrs. Lorino brings to that classroom each and every day for our kids. It's passion, it's a love of learning and a love for teaching that you can see each and every day from Ms. Lorino.
So, Ms. Lorino, what advice do you share with your students, or what do you say to their parents, either or, to help ensure that they will be successful in your class?
To always think critically. It's important for students to become lifelong learners. They're going to be making political decisions one day. They're not going to just exit my classroom and be finished with the educational process. Even if they continue on to college and beyond, and even as adults in society, it's important to always maintain that aspect of critical thinking and lifelong learning, because we're overexposed with information. And with all of this information, there is so much misinformation. And it's very critical for our students to understand how to discern what is true and what is not true. And by becoming lifelong learners, they're able to be more critically thinking about the information that is presented to them in everyday society.
Let's have some fun. Let's play a game of favorites. What's your favorite food?
Anything barbecue. I went to Auburn. I grew up in the South. Anything barbecue. It's brisket, mac and cheese, good green beans, collard greens, cornbread. Anything barbecue. That would be my last meal. Death row.
All right. Favorite restaurant?
There's a fantastic restaurant in Auburn that I really wish that they would expand it elsewhere. It's called Mama Goldberg's, and it's a really good deli. So that would definitely be my favorite restaurant.
Favorite movie?
I'm really showing myself here. I'm a huge science fiction nerd, so I would say anything related to science fiction or fantasy. I love The Matrix, Lord of the Rings, Day After Tomorrow, just any good nerdy sci-fi movie I absolutely love.
Favorite sports team?
Oh, come on.
I know.
Come on.
You're just going to say it.
Come
Go
on.
on and say it. Go
Come
on.
on. Okay, Auburn Tigers, but I'm actually a huge hockey fan. So I would
Okay.
say the Florida Panthers. I'm a huge South Florida sports fan. I am a Miami Dolphins fan as well, but
Fins up. Yeah.
Yeah, fins up. It's rough recently, but yeah, fins up. But Auburn, Florida Panthers, South Florida sports all day.
Favorite song?
So when I was in Europe with my husband for our honeymoon, this song played 3 times when we were there, and it was Queen, Don't Stop Me Now. And ever since that, we've always just joked
That's your song.
that's our song. That's our song. So that's absolutely my favorite song.
Favorite quote or motivational saying?
I've always enjoyed the saying, and I am slightly paraphrasing, that people might forget your name and people might forget what you say, but they never forget how you make them feel. And I think that's something that's really important, especially as a teacher.
So, if I were to ask your students, colleagues, parents, share with me about Mrs. Lindsay Loreno, what would they tell me about you?
I hope they would say glowing things about me, but I would say that they are very enthusiastic about being members of my classroom. I loop my students, which means that I actually have the same students for 3 years, and they're always so reluctant to leave my classroom by that eighth grade year. And I think that they just remain passionate about what they do in my room, and I hope that they continue those passions when they exit my classroom.
Share with us your prop.
Okay, so my prop is obviously has the Auburn logo on it, but what's even more, silly about it is that my dad has a matching Brontosaurus, and my dad and I are very close. He always supported me through my teaching career, and when I first told everybody in my family that I wanted to go into teaching, there was a lot of, resistance about the teaching profession, but my dad has always been my #1 advocate, and when I was in college, I bought a matching Brontosaurus to go with my Triceratops, and he actually still has it in his living room, right on his mantle, and I have this in my classroom. So this reminds me of my dad. So it's very, very important to me. And then of course it has my alma mater.
We got the Auburn thing. Yeah.
We got the Auburn thing down.
Yes, Mr. Lizzo, is there anything else that you want to share with us about Miss Loreno?
I'm super excited about Miss Loreno being selected by her peers as the Teacher of the Year for St. Louis USK8. Shark Nation truly selected a fabulous teacher. She mentioned earlier 10 years at the school center, and this is her first time being nominated, and went through the interview process at our school center and was selected by her peers for this distinguished honor. And I cannot be more proud of an individual at my school center to have this honor bestowed upon them. Congratulations, Ms. Loreno.
Thank you, I appreciate it.
Final question, Ms. Loreno. You have automatically become the ambassador for education at St. Lucie West. You have the opportunity to speak with parents, community members, the superintendent, school board members, even some political figures. What's your message?
My message is very similar to the message that I provided in one of my earlier responses, was that we need to create a society and a student population of critical thinkers and lifelong learners, especially as our students enter the working force and they enter adulthood. It's so vital for our students to remain critical thinkers and lifelong learners beyond the classroom.
Congratulations on your selection. Thank you both for sharing with us today.
Thank you.
And we look forward to seeing great things, and I promise you I'm going to pop into your room one day soon, all right?
I hope to see you soon.
Again, congratulations.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hello, my name is Edward Morales. I'm the manager for the Publications Department for the St. Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the print shop. One of the most important part of my job is to get things on time for the schools. Our objective is to get everything to the schools in less than 3 days. So some of the challenges we have here in the print shop is to get good pricing for raw paper, cover paper. The supply chain is a little bit difficult nowadays, but we're working on it. We have a great team. We have a team of 8, 9, including me. We have 3 printers, 3 binderies. We have a graphic designer. We have a team that is cohesive. They work together. They know what to do. They're professionals. They're proactive. They accept challenges, and they're determined to get the work to the schools. My favorite part of the day is coming in, say hello to the team, seeing that everybody is here with a happy face, and ready to go. Yo soy Edward Morales y yo soy San Lucie Public School.
Please join me in welcoming to our show the wonderful Miss Elsa Rodriguez, who is the Teacher of the Year for Treasure Coast High School. Welcome.
Well, thank you for having me.
She's brought along with her the very proud principal there, Mr. Brad Lehman. Welcome to the show.
Thank you, sir. Glad to be here.
So let's get it out of the way right now. Titan born, Titan bred. Yeah.
Yes,
Okay.
yes,
so everybody to know that we do know what we're supposed to do, okay? So, Ms. Rodriguez, how does it feel? And tell me, what is it like to know that you have been chosen to represent teachers at Treasure Coast High School as their Teacher of the Year?
It's very humbling. Didn't expect it at all. But I'm excited because I love where I work. I love my students. I love everybody. And it's a school that basically allows me to be who I am, which is embody that passion for education that I have and teach these kids to be future leaders.
Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
To be honest, no, but I think my parents did somewhere.
Mm-hmm.
I actually went to school to be an attorney like my dad, eventually went into business. But what I learned it was from my little brother. My little brother was born with what you call back then a huge learning disability. And back in the day, you had the LD classes. They didn't have the ESC or anything like that. And the doctors told my mom, because she almost died and he almost died, that he was not gonna make it. He was just gonna be someone that's gonna need a nurse. And my mom and I looked at each other, my dad, and we had a meeting and we said, we're immigrants. We don't give up. And we didn't. So every day for, I would say 3 hours, I would sit with my brother and teach him how to read. And I continue to progress this until his high school year. And when they told him that he was going to be getting the, what do they call it back then? I don't know if they still call it the same thing. It's just an attendance certificate. He graduated with a high school diploma, but it didn't stop there. I got him to go to college. He graduated with a 3.9 GPA. He's now a federal employee of the federal government. The 3 letters, I can't say exactly, but. And he makes a lot of money. And he always tells me, I did this because of you.
Awesome.
And that was, maybe part of me said, this is why I need to become an educator, because I don't give up.
So what's your favorite part of teaching?
There's so many parts. The sparkle that I see in the students' eyes when they come in, or when they tell me something you taught me, I'm able to apply it. But I would say this, the best part was a student that I had last year. And I didn't expect to see him again. He was a student that always had his head down, very depressed, suicidal ideations. I could see all this because I'm also a therapist. And I remember reaching out to the counselors, to everybody, to help this kid, even the parent. And I said, I'm not gonna give up on this kid. So every time he would put his head down, I would go, how's your day? He's like, I'm like, it's okay. Can you do a little bit of work for me today? Just a little bit. He goes, okay. And then he would put his head down. And I'm like, man, I gotta get this kid. And, you know, the year passed by. I didn't see what was really happening here. But I saw him in the summer. I was teaching in summer school. And he was smiling. And I'm like, are you smiling at me? He goes, yeah. I just wanna let you know that I'm in summer school and I'm gonna get my grades up. And I'm like, are you sure? And he's like, yeah, I'm gonna do all this. And I said, okay, I'll see you around. Coincidence, I have him again this year. And I was like, I'm so happy to see you. And I said, well, I begged my counselor to have you. And I said, why? Because I wanted to tell you you never gave up on me. And that to me said, this is why I teach. And now this kid is graduating and going to college.
So what advice would you give to a new teacher?
The Winston Churchill quote, never, never, never give up. Never lose hope. And even at your toughest days, and we all have our tough days, remember the good days. And remember, when we have those tough days, learn from them.
What do you say to a student like the one that you spoke about to help them ensure that they will be a success in your room?
I'm a true believer in education. And I always tell my story, how I came to this country. And I share that with my kids all the time. And I tell them, I came here with nothing. My parents had I call it a suitcase and a dream from Cuba. I said, we have all the diversities and everything against us. But my father always told us, if you educate yourself, your possibility is endless. And that's what I tell my students all the time. I said, guys, you may not like the situation that you're in. Things may not be the way you want it to be. You may have a rough day. You may be not eating very well. But I promise you this, if you invest in your education, your future is controlled by you. You're the captain of your own journey.
Mr. Lehman, if I were to visit Mr. Rodriguez's class, tell me what would I see?
Well, you'd see people smiling. You'd see people laughing and interacting and engaged in their learning. You know, the same energy that you see here at the desk tonight is the same energy that she brings day in and day out. And that energy, you know, manifests itself in the learning of her students.
Describe her for me with 3 adjectives.
I knew you were going to ask this question,
Yes, sir.
Dr. Perry. You know, I already kind of gave a preview of the first one. That's energetic. Her energy is on 10 every day, and in a good way. And it rubs off on her students and the teachers and staff around her. They love being in her room. Passionate. You know, she kind of mentioned passion and you know, desire to be a teacher. She exudes passion. Kids know that she cares not only about them as students and their future, and she's going to get them there no matter what. And the third, out of the box. And there are some things that Dr. Rodriguez, you know, will try, and you know, things work, some things don't work, but most of her ideas work. You know, one quick story. You know, during lunch one day during homecoming week, I see a large crowd forming in high schools. That's always a good thing.
We run to them, right?
Yeah. And as I approach the group, I see a green dinosaur, someone dressed in a green dinosaur costume with a boombox. And the crowd that I had seen formed were kids around this green dinosaur, dancing, having a blast. Dr. Rodriguez was helping promote some activities and things like that, and that was her out-of-the-box, you know, way to kind of grasp kids and get the kids to follow and engage. And what a cool thing it was.
So, education has been through many things recently. What do you see as one of the major issues that education is facing?
Oh, wow. Technology sometimes, I think the communication is several factors. It's not just one. I think our communication with our parents has lapsed throughout the years. I think budgeting, but that's always out of our control. But I think all of that is fixable. I think all the challenges are fixable. When it comes to our parents and the miscommunication sometimes, is that we need to, as educators, also do a better job and explain to them the process. Sometimes they don't understand how complex is education. Just break it down for them. Say, look, this is step 1 for this, step 2, step 3, step 4, because they might be going through something and they don't know how to ask for help. Maybe they don't have those tools, so we have those tools to help them. When it comes to our children, attendance issues and all the things like that, it goes back to, again, to the parent and figuring out what's happening at home and what we as a community of educators can bond together and help them. I mean, today, perfect example, one of my best students, I found out today she's going to be homeless. And she's always coming with a smile. And I said, okay, thank you for letting me know. We'll see what we can do. I said, because this is what I do. You know, I said, we're going to figure it out. Don't worry about it. I don't need you stressing. I need you to stay on a positive path. So as education is always going to have the same challenges here and there. I think it just changes the calendar, but they're still there, you know? But we have to be, as educators, that beacon for them. We have to be able to make that connection with these parents and our students and put them first above anything else, because they are our future.
Mr. Lehman, what makes Dr. Rodriguez the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
Well, I think, you know, her responses to a lot of your questions, you know, exemplify what she is as an educator. You know, she mentioned that she has experience in a number of other fields, and bringing that experience to, you know, to the classroom certainly helps in that regard. I also think the amount of things that she does in our school, it makes her the perfect candidate. She's our U.S. history collaborative learning and planning facilitator. She is a part of our leadership team. She helps our band and color guard. She serves a large portion of our ELL population, amongst the classes that she teaches. She would take them all if she could. There's just not enough seats or enough room. She is a cheerleader in the sense that she gets everyone around her to follow what she believes and what she's most passionate about. And if you talked to her quad mates and other departmental colleagues, they would say she's a natural born leader and we just want to be like her.
So let's have some fun. We've talked a lot already about teaching and learning. I'm going to throw out some favorites and you give me a response.
Oh God.
Favorite food?
Okay, it's a Cuban dish, so I don't know if you're familiar with. So it's white rice, shredded beef, we call ropa vieja, and sweet plantains with a side salad.
Okay. Favorite restaurant?
Flagler Steakhouse.
Favorite movie?
I have a few, but Grease. Grease, and also
Grease
Ferris.
Lightning, yeah.
And Ferris Bueller's Day Off.
Okay.
I like musicals.
Okay, I love them too. I love them. Favorite sports team?
Dolphins.
Fins up. Really, they're struggling right now, but okay.
No, but you know what? When I came to this country, I learned the song. Miami's had those Dolphins, the Ferris Bueller. So it stuck with me.
Okay, all right. Favorite song?
Whitney Houston, The Greatest Love of All.
Great rendition. And favorite quote?
I have two, but my favorite overall is Winston Churchill. Never, never, never give up.
Tell us about your prop.
Okay. Because I'm a history and also a government teacher, I wear this once a week. And my prop is basically, it embodies who we are, but it also embodies what I teach in my classroom. On one side, it symbolizes the United States, the American flag. On the other one is my country, where I was born, Cuba. And it reminds me what our founding fathers said, that this country is for everyone. But it teaches my students that if they have dedication to their education, they can move mountains because the possibilities are endless.
Mr. Lehman, is there anything else that you want to share about your awesome Teacher of the Year?
No, I know that she's one of the best. I know that, on behalf of Treasure Coast High School, she was voted on by her peers, and that says a lot. There's a lot of great teachers in our school, and knowing that Dr. Rodriguez is at the top is certainly a good problem to have as a school principal. And so I just wish her the best of luck through the rest of the process. And she's got a fan in me, and I'm rooting her along the way.
So my last question to you. You are automatically the ambassador for education at Treasure Coast High School. Going to have an opportunity to speak to many people that come by your room, come by the school. What's your message?
Never ever give up. Don't lose hope. And I'm here whenever you need me. And don't be afraid to ask for help because I don't know everything.
Thank you both for joining us, sharing with us, and congratulations on your selection as the Teacher of the Year for Treasure Coast High School. One more time, Titan born, Titan bred.
My name is Michael Brown, and welcome to St. Lucie Transportation. We have 325 routes that make up 12,471 bus stops per day. On average, we transport 23,000 students each and every day. We have 25 mechanics responsible for 397 buses in our fleet, and they go in for a 30-point state-required inspection every 28 days. I feel that as a bus driver, my position is a very intricate one in the St. Lucie school system. Without us transporting the majority of the school's populations, our leaders of tomorrow wouldn't have an easy access to their education. I would say the most important aspect of my job is delivering my children to and from school in a safe, timely manner. I want to be a role model for my kids as well. Some of the challenges of my position, being able to drive while maintaining control of my students. I often have upward to 50 to 60 kids, you know, at any given time between routes. I think the most rewarding part is just watching my children grow, you know, into adults. I watch them flourish in life and just knowing that I was a part of it. I'm Michael Brown, and I am St. Lucie Public School.
Please join me in welcoming to our Teacher of the Year Spotlight Show, Rebecca Engel, the wonderful Teacher of the Year over at Village Green Environmental Studies School. I won't say all of that anymore, but welcome to our show.
Thank you.
She's brought along with us our very dear friend, Dr. John Leslie, the proud principal there. Doc, welcome to the show.
Thank you, Dr. Perry.
We love doing the show because we get to introduce some of the fantastic teachers to our viewers. With that said, briefly introduce yourself.
I've lived in St. Lucie County for about 10 years. I transplanted here after my parents retired down here. It's been a wonderful experience. I've been fortunate to work at Village Green the last 10 years, a couple years in second grade, well, a few years in second grade, and now I'm in third. I have 2 children, a 6-year-old son and a 2-year-old daughter, who I'm very proud of, and I'm happy that they complete my family. And that's about it.
Okay, Dr. Leslie, introduce yourself, please.
John Leslie, Dr. John Leslie. I'm principal of Village Green Elementary. I've been in the county for about 18 years. My start was actually out of a research lab. I came up to St. Lucie County and applied. Got hired at Lincoln Park Academy. Worked there about 7 years. Moved over to Westwood as an administrator. Went to Central for a while with Mr. Todd Smith and Monterey Buchanan. And then moved over to a middle school and then ended up at Village Green Elementary.
So, Ms. Engel, congratulations.
Thank you.
How does it feel to know that you have been selected as a representative for the fantastic teachers at Village Green Teacher of the Year?
I'm excited and I'm honored. It's exciting to be in this seat. It's an experience. It's a little nerve-wracking, but good. Overall good. It's been a positive experience.
So did you always know that you wanted to be an educator?
I did. From a very young age, I was influenced by fabulous educators in my own life. I come from a family rooted in service. My mother's a retired principal. My sisters are in education. So it was just something I was always surrounded by. Strong, positive role models who themselves worked in education.
So what do you think at this time is your biggest professional achievement?
I would think the relationship with the families and the students that I build, the relationships with my peers.
Okay. All right. Dr. Leslie, you have an opportunity to walk in the classroom every day and watch the wonderful magic happen. Tell us what I would see if I visited Ms. Engel's class.
Sure. Walking into Mrs. Engel's class, you would see a high amount of engagement. You would see students moving around the classroom. You would see the teacher mastering her crafts at the front. There's always some level of surprise when I go in there because her lesson plan is just a plan. It's just a backbone, but she goes well beyond the plan and she enacts different things on the fly. So that's one thing that I really appreciate about her. The students really benefit as well. Whatever they need in that moment, she's there to provide it for them.
So describe her for me with 3 adjectives and tell me why you've chosen those 3.
3 adjectives, okay. So I would say my first one would be with itness. My second one would be presence. And my third one would be dependable. So with itness, she embodies that, as I mentioned earlier, the spirit of being present in the moment. That's something that we all speak about as educators, but I don't know if you can teach it or not. It's just something a person has or doesn't have. And she always has that level of withitness where no matter what happens, the circumstance, she's going to process it and make it come out, I want to say a good apple pie because that's my favorite dessert, but something good.
Okay. And presence?
Presence. She has a presence. The students, her team, she is the team leader. Okay. So the team knows that she is there. She's available for them. And no matter what, you know that she's present in the moment, as I mentioned earlier, with the withedness. And she has a certain persona that comes forth in her speaking, her teaching, and her interactions around school.
So why do you describe her as dependable?
I'll have to give you a scenario.
Okay.
So, and I have to, this is I'm proud of it, but so when I first arrived at the school, I was typing a memo about a code red drill that we were doing. So unfortunately, my hand slipped on the enter button and it sent the email. So it just said code red. so we went through the process, and afterwards I received an email from Mrs. Engel scolding me for sending such a message. So we talked about it, and I think now we can laugh about it. But I told her at the time that I really appreciated that because she was there. She was there in the moment. That was something that we always will remember.
So, Ms. Engel, you're the team lead. What would you say to a new teacher? What advice would you share?
I would say we need you. We need you. Stick it through. You were here for a reason. You chose education for a reason, and stick with it. We need people.
What advice do you share with parents to help them ensure that their children are successful in your room?
I give them feedback and strategies to use at home that I send home with materials for them to, practice their skills at home. I'm very detailed with my parents. I pride myself on communication with my students and their families. So I do all I can to get as detailed and as thorough as I can with these are the specific things you can do to support your child, whether it's with materials, websites, resources that I pull and send home.
So Dr. Leslie, what makes Mrs. Engel the perfect choice for Teacher of the Year?
Mrs. Engel is very eloquent. She communicates well. She can ensure that the message of the school, the district, and on to the state will be communicated well to parents, to the community, and to all stakeholders. That's the main thing that I believe that we need in education. Just many people are concerned and interested in what we are doing behind the closed doors, and I think her voice would be the one that would echo and be able to communicate all is well.
Ms. Engel, what do you see as the most pressing issue in education today?
I think there are a few pressing issues. I believe resources and funding are, up there on the list. We saw a few years ago with COVID how COVID affected education and, kind of widened that learning gap. We saw Florida was at the front of, the line, keeping schools open. But despite keeping school opens, we're still struggling to close that gap, and resources would definitely help us, close that gap, give students what they need, whether it's with interventionist or remediation. Funding and resources is definitely.
Let's have some fun.
Yeah.
Speed round.
Okay.
I'll throw out some favorites. You give me a response.
Okay.
Favorite food?
I love Mexican. Tacos, nachos, guacamole.
Okay.
Definitely my thing.
Favorite restaurant?
I would say Casa Amigas.
Okay, still Mexican.
Yeah.
Favorite movie?
I'm not so much of a movie person, but I love series. The Crown. I've just started The Bear, so I'm definitely a series.
Favorite sports team?
Growing up in New York, I would have to say the Yankees.
Okay,
yeah.
we'll take that. We'll take that. Favorite song?
I love Dave Matthews, so any one of Dave Matthews' songs.
And favorite quote?
I'm not sure.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. You brought along a prop.
I did.
That kind of describes you, your work every day. Share with us.
I brought in a woolly mammoth that my mother had on her desk. She's a retired principal. And I remember as a little girl visiting my mother's office, and she had a bunch of trinkets and toys for students to play with when they would visit her. So this is one of the things that stood out. It was one of her prized possessions. She got it from a museum, so it sat on her desk. She retired long ago, but she passed it along to my son recently, who has a love for animals. And it just, to me, represents my mom's dedication to education and how she instilled that in me and now my children. So passing this along is just the love of learning and what it meant to my mother. She's trying to instill into me and her grandchildren.
Awesome, awesome. Thanks, Mom.
Yeah.
Dr. Leslie, is there anything that you want to share that we haven't spoken about?
Yes, there are a few things I would like to share. Aside from the things that we talked about here and that Ms. Engel shared, She's somewhat humble, so I did want to accentuate some of the things that we haven't shared. She's excellent with students with disabilities. There was a student that was placed in her classroom that could speak no English. He had no background in schooling. In the 3rd grade, she was fantastic with him. He actually showed growth over a month-and-a-half period of time. She's awesome, equally excellent with ELL students. So any student that we place in her class, they are going to succeed, no matter what angle of the spectrum they come from. That's a unique characteristic of teachers. Most of us are good at one zone. We're good at either the bottom quartile or we're good at the upper levels. Mrs. Engel, I am confident that anybody that I place in her class, she's going to help them to excel to their greatest potential.
So, Ms. Engel, final question for you. Your selection as the Teacher of the Year at Village Green automatically qualifies you as the spokesperson for the school. What's your message?
My message is that as all educators, we need to have the message that all children have potential. We need to believe that. We need to instill that in children, that you can do it. We're going to get you where you need to be. You need to believe in yourself just like we believe in you.
Awesome. Thank you both for joining us today. Thank you and congratulations on your selection as Teacher of the Year.
Thank you,
Dr.
I appreciate
Perry.
it.
It's a pleasure.
My name is Anna Babcock. I am a teacher at Fairlawn Elementary, teaching K-5 gifted and high achieving. And this is my 16th year in St. Lucie Public Schools. I believe the most important aspect of my job is having the privilege to develop that next upcoming generation of students to be problem solvers and critical thinkers. Elementary is the foundation. Our students, sometimes this is their first experience in school. They are with us for several years compared to middle and high school. So it's the opportunity of planting that seed for the love of learning and just making them passionate about learning. I try to keep our students fully engaged, like giving them an environment that they take ownership in their learning. My favorite part of the day is when I get to teach math. I just get really excited about it. I love numbers. The most rewarding part of my job is observing my students when they have that moment of feeling successful. It's that moment where you can see it in their face. They light up, they're smiling ear to ear, and you just know in that moment they're feeling so good about themselves and proud of the accomplishment. I am Anna Babcock. I am St. Lucie Public Schools.
It's with excitement that we welcome to our show at this time the wonderful Miss Kimberly Burton, the awesome Teacher of the Year over at Weatherby Elementary School. Welcome to the show.
Thank you very much for having me.
She's brought along with her the dynamic principal there, Miss Angela Patton. Miss Patton, welcome.
Thank you.
It is a pleasure for us to have this opportunity to share with you today. Briefly introduce yourself to our viewers.
My name is Kimberly Burton. I'm a product of Broward County schools growing up in Fort Lauderdale area. Went to St. Leo University up in Dade City, Florida. A mom of 3 adult sons and was a military wife for 26 years before that. And, left teaching for a little bit to raise my sons, but then came back in 2017 and missed it very much while I was gone.
We're glad you're back. We're glad you're back. Miss Patton?
Yes, I've been an educator for St. Lucie Public Schools for 22 years now. I was the assistant principal both at St. Lucie Elementary and later Mariposa. And then this past June was excited to be named as principal of Weatherby Elementary, where I'm proud to be the leader there. Some great kids, parents, families, and staff.
Now, I know we're interviewing Ms. Burton, but we've got to tell it. We've got to tell it because we're extremely proud.
Yes. I was chosen as the state assistant principal of the year last year.
Yes, awesome,
Great
awesome.
honor.
Yes, yes. So, Ms. Burton.
Yes.
Tell me, how does it feel? What is it like to know that you are the representative with Weatherby Elementary Teacher of the Year?
Extremely honored. Did not see it coming. Miss Patton and Miss Fest came through my classroom door with balloons and flowers, and I was just amazed and in tears that my colleagues chose me to represent our school and felt that I was good enough, and a good educator and colleague to have this title.
Awesome, awesome. So you told me that you taught, but you left to raise your kids and came back. But let's go a little bit further back. Have you always known that you wanted to be a teacher?
I think deep down, yes. I will tell you, at St. Leo University, I changed my mind senior year, second semester. I was going down that criminal law route, and a lot of my friends were in teaching and doing internships, and I was watching them and thinking, wow, every time you're around kids, you're having fun. And I just decided I think I wanted to be around kids rather than maybe people that were committing crimes and things like that. So I taught for 10 years, then stayed home with my boys for 14. We moved around a lot being military, and then came back in 2017. So I'm in my 17th year technically.
Awesome,
Yeah.
awesome. So what's your favorite part of what you do every day?
I'll be honest, the best part of my day teaching is especially when I left teaching in 2003 and came back in 17, I noticed a humongous difference in our children, because I was in a different state at that time. So I was looking around thinking, what has happened to our kids? And I noticed that their social emotional learning was really lacking. And I feel like on a daily basis that I make an impact with our kids, just teaching them how to interact with one another, which then leads to stronger academics.
I'm just going to put this out there, okay? To be chosen the teacher of the year at Weatherby, you got to be good. You just have to be good. What do you think it is that makes you a good teacher?
I think my connection with my kids and my colleagues. We have a lot of it seems like every year we have a lot of new teachers that come through our doors, and I just really make a point to make them feel welcome, even though I don't usually see them. It could be on the other side of the building, but I try to make them feel welcome and say hello to them, even if I don't know their name, and say, how are you doing okay? Do you need anything? I'm just down the hall. As far as the kids, I try to connect with them every day, just how they're doing in their home lives. Our kids at Weatherby come from some pretty tough backgrounds, and that's always in the back of my mind, is how is their morning, how are they coming in the morning?
So, Ms. Patton, you have the opportunity to experience the magic happen every day. If you were to take me to Ms. Burton's room, what would I see?
So what you're going to see are students that are engaged in their learning. And it's not just, a sit and get in her classroom. You're going to see the kids, they're acting out a story, maybe so they can better understand like character perspective. They're going to be turning and talking to their classmates to better understand like what they're learning. If she's with a small group, she's like the queen of multitasking. She's got a group she's working with, and then she's watching the rest of the kids, making sure they're staying on task, call them over, conference. It's just this very smooth machine that works in her classroom. And so you're going to see and hear just a lot of student engagement, but also like she's talking about the interactions between the kids. You're going to see that also, that she has really created a positive, like caring learning environment.
So, Ms. Burton, in and out with your travels, understanding education in multiple states, what do you think is one of the major issues facing us today in education?
I think social media. I think social media is really hurting our kids. And as teachers, educators, all of us, we're doing damage control when those kids come through the door because they see so much. It affects their academics because kids are so used to texting. This is just one example. Trying to get them to understand that I by itself is always capital, they are not getting that. They're born into this world of texting and using lowercase letters, and that's just one small example. But just all the other things they see, back to that social emotional learning, we are doing a lot of corrections because if we don't get that, then we're not going to get them academically. And when Ms. Patton says she sees kids talking and turning, they're learning and they're doing academics, but they're also learning how to speak to one another at that time and use accountable talk in a friendly way, so that when they are someday in the work world, they can be productive members of society and get along with their colleagues and maybe be chosen to be a teacher of the year.
Maybe. Follow your lead.
Yeah.
Ms. Patton, give us 3 adjectives that'll describe the wonderful Ms. Burton.
All right, 3 adjectives. Dedicated, she's dedicated to her students. She is passionate about her work, and I would say the third would be reflective. She is constantly reflective about her practice.
What do you think makes her the perfect candidate for Teacher of the Year?
I think a lot of it ties to those three things. She is there for the kids. She gets there early, she's leaving late, she's doing so much throughout the day, but it always comes down to it's for the kids. And that comes out not just in what you see in the classrooms and our conversations that I have with her, but she's creating that positive learning environment that it feels good to be in her room. But ultimately what also makes her a candidate for this is that she's getting results. When we look at the unit assessment data that's coming through and the leadership team, I'm like, what is it? Why are her kids like making such great growth? Because we have great teachers. And it comes down to a lot of it too is the high expectations that she holds for her students and for herself.
What's your proudest professional achievement?
Wow, I guess it would go back to academics. It didn't happen in this district, but I strive for it every day to get to that point again. And one of the districts I taught in, my class was second in the district in math. And coming behind a teacher who had 8 students, I had 22, but I had a lot of kids that would be considered a level 1 in our district that I was able to get proficient. There were 5 of them, and I just remember one of them getting exactly what he needed. So I got, out of those 22 kids, 20 of them by the end of the year. And I didn't even know. My principal came back and said, I was just so proud at that meeting, you're number 2 in the district. So that would probably be my best professional academic end of it. And don't think I'm not thinking about that every day for our St. Lucie kids. I really am.
Understand.
Number 1 this time.
Yep. so let's have some fun. Let's have some fun. Tell us one thing about the wonderful Kimberly Burton that we don't naturally know.
People may not know. I'm going way back. Probably that when I was in college, I played 2 collegiate sports on scholarship, ranked in the district, or not district, ranked in the Sunshine State Conference, played volleyball and softball. The game of volleyball has completely changed, but a lot of people don't know that I
Cool,
I did
cool.
that.
You still got a good spike in you?
Maybe. On the upper back. That upper back might not be able to take it anyway.
I'm going to throw out some favorites and you give me a quick response. Speed round. Favorite food?
Fondue.
Oh. Favorite restaurant?
Melting pot.
Yeah. Favorite restaurant?
Well, melting pot, yeah.
Okay,
So,
favorite movie?
Movie, I would have to say probably, I just love Charlotte's Web. I don't know. I love kid things.
Okay, okay. Sports team?
The Florida Panthers.
Okay. Favorite song?
Favorite song, I Will Survive.
Theme song,
Yes.
rallying cry, right? Favorite quote or motivational saying?
With great power comes great responsibility.
So we ask you to bring along with you a prop that kind of describes your work. Share with us.
I brought a couple of things that, because I think that one of the things it said was, what makes you enjoy education. And I just, this happens all the time, and I keep them. I don't know, I'm sure a lot of teachers do, but the kids will go off to lunch, I'll walk them down, I'll come back, and this will just be randomly sitting on my desk. I love you, Miss Burton, and I don't know who it's from. It's a mystery child. I love you, Miss Burton. Just little things like that. And it's this little scrap of graph paper, which I love. But just that, they're thinking of you, and you're making an impact somehow. You don't always know. Mm-hmm. It's in their little minds. But then I have a couple from coworkers. When I get these, it does make me tear up. It's heart-wrenching,
Understand. So, Mrs. Patton, is there anything else you want to share with us about your Teacher of the Year?
I think one thing that we didn't touch on is not only just her dedication to the immediate students in her classroom, but she's done a lot for the school and recently started as the coordinator for our Rosetta Stone program. So now she's making an impact on families across the board, that are learning English so that they can better support their children.
Final question, Mrs. Burton. Your selection makes you the ambassador of education for Weatherby. What's your message?
If I had a slogan, it would be connect with your kids and they will grow.
Awesome. Thank you both for joining us. Thank you for sharing with us.
Thank you.
Congratulations
Thank you so much.
on your selection as a Teacher of the Year.
Thank you so much.
Hello, my name is Edward Morales. I'm the manager for the Publications Department for the St. Lucie Public Schools. Welcome to the print shop. One of the most important part of my job is to get things on time for the schools. Our objective is to get everything to the schools in less than 3 days. Well, some of the challenges we have here in the print shop is to get good pricing for raw paper, cover paper. The supply chain is a little bit difficult nowadays, but we're working on it. We have a great team. We have a team of 8, 9, including me. We have 3 printers, 3 binderies. We have a graphic designer. We have a team that is cohesive. They work together. They know what to do. They're professionals. They're proactive. They accept challenges, and they're determined to get the work to the schools. My favorite part of the day is coming in, say hello to the team, seeing that everybody is here with a happy face and ready to go. Yo soy Edward Morales y yo soy San Lucie Public School.
Wow, what an amazing and inspiring group of educators. We applaud these teachers who devote their professional lives to enriching the lives of St. Lucie Public School students. The Teacher of the Year Award is a call to service that comes with a responsibility and obligation to elevate students and the profession. The award isn't about being the best teacher, it's about being chosen to represent the best teachers and the honor of being called to represent such an incredible profession. Thank you to each of these wonderful teachers for being exemplary role models and caring people. We thank them for sharing their knowledge and for showing acceptance, approval, and appreciation. Every day they make a difference and do that something that truly matters. Every day they leave an undeniable mark on the future. Congratulations to each of them.